Picture this: a crowded train in Tokyo. The doors slide shut. People are standing shoulder to shoulder. Everyone is quiet, tired, trying not to make eye contact. And then, a toddler begins to melt down. His face turns red. His body twists. The sound rises through the train like an alarm. And the mother does something most parents would find almost impossible. She does nothing. No yelling, no bribing him with snacks, no desperate whispering through clenched teeth saying, "Stop it right now." She simply waits, calmly. Not because she doesn't care, but because she knows something many modern parents have forgotten. And here's the strange part. That calm silence may be one of the reasons Japanese children are often seen as some of the most self-disciplined, emotionally controlled children in the world. Not because they are scared into obedience, not because they are raised by cold, strict parents, and not because Japanese parents have some magical secret the rest of us can never understand. It comes from a parenting philosophy so simple and so deep that once you hear it, you may never look at your child's bad behavior the same way again. By the end of this, you'll have 3 tools you can start using tonight. Not tools to control your child, not tricks to make them obey faster, but tools to help your child build something much stronger: inner discipline. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Japanese culture is different. Their schools are different. Their homes are different. Their children grow up in a different world. And yes, that's true. But the heart of this approach is not just cultural. It is human. It lines up with what developmental psychology has been saying for decades. Children do not become calm because adults overpower them. Children become calm when adults help them build the missing skills underneath the behavior. And it all begins with one word: Shitsuke. In Japanese, this word is often connected with the idea of shaping conduct, manners, and discipline. But the deeper feeling behind it is not punishment, not control, not fear. It is formation. It is the slow art of helping a child become the kind of person who wants to behave well, because good behavior has become part of who they are. Think about that for a second. In many homes, we wait until the bad behavior happens. The child screams. The child throws something. The child refuses to listen. Then we react. We raise our voice. We threaten consequences. We take away the tablet. We send them to their room. And sometimes, yes, it works for a few minutes, but then the same behavior comes back, again and again, because we are treating the smoke instead of asking where the fire started. And that is where Japanese parenting becomes so interesting, because instead of asking, "How do I stop this behavior right now?" the deeper question is, "What skill is my child missing right now?" That one question changes everything. A child who grabs a toy may not be bad. They may be missing the skill of waiting. A child who screams when the tablet turns off may not be spoiled. They may be missing the skill of handling disappointment. A child who talks back may not be trying to disrespect you. They may be missing the skill of saying hard feelings in a better way. And the moment you see behavior as a missing skill, your body changes. Your voice changes. Your face changes. You stop entering the moment like a police officer, and you start entering it like a coach. That does not mean you allow everything. It does not mean there are no limits. It means the limit comes with teaching. Because punishment may stop a child for a moment, but teaching builds the child for a lifetime. Now let's go back to that mother on the train. Why didn't she rush in right away? Why didn't she panic? Why didn't she try to erase the tantrum as fast as possible? Because she was practicing something called Mimamoru. Mimamoru means to watch over while protecting, and this is where many parents feel uncomfortable. Because in modern parenting, especially in public, we feel pressure to fix everything immediately. If our child cries, we feel judged. If our child struggles, we feel guilty. If our child fails, We feel like we failed. So we step in fast. We tie the shoes. We solve the argument. We finish the sentence. We calm the emotion before the child has even had a chance to feel it. And we do it from love. But here's the hidden message the child may receive. You cannot handle this without me. Japanese parents often take a different path. They pause. They observe. They stay close enough to protect, but far enough to let the child try. Not coldly, not carelessly, but with quiet trust. And that trust becomes a mirror. The child begins to feel, maybe I can handle this. This is where real confidence is born. Not from being praised every 5 minutes, not from adults clapping for every tiny thing, but from surviving a small, hard moment and realizing, I did not break. That is emotional strength. So the next time your child is frustrated, before you rush in, pause. Give them 10 seconds. 10 seconds to try. 10 seconds to breathe. 10 seconds to discover a tiny piece of strength inside themselves. You may be surprised, not by how much they need you, but by how much they can already do when you stop stealing the struggle too soon. But there is one more layer. And without this layer, Shitsuke and Mimamoru can easily be misunderstood. Because if a parent steps back, but the child does not feel deeply loved, that pause can feel like abandonment. That is why Japanese parenting also carries the idea of Amae. Amae is the feeling that a child can depend on another person's love. Not earn it, not perform for it. Depend on it. In the early years, the child is held, comforted, guided, and emotionally received. From the outside, some people may call that spoiling. But psychologically, it is the foundation. Because a child who feels safe with you does not need to fight so hard for attention. A child who knows love is not removed during hard moments can slowly learn to handle hard moments. This is the balance many parents miss. Warmth first, structure second, connection first, correction second. You do not build discipline by making a child afraid of losing love. You build discipline by giving them enough love to survive limits. And then comes the final secret: repetition. In Japan, children clean classrooms, serve lunch, pack their bags, greet others, and practice small acts of responsibility every day. Not because adults are too tired to help, not because children are tiny workers, but because behavior becomes character through repeated identity. A child who sets the table every night learns, I contribute here. A child who cleans after themselves learns, my actions affect the space we share. A child who says thank you before eating learns, I notice what others do for me. And that changes everything. Rules tell a child what to do. Rituals teach a child who they are. So tonight, do not try to change everything. Choose one small ritual. Maybe your child puts their shoes away. Maybe they take their plate to the sink. Maybe they say thank you before the meal begins. No reward chart. No big speech. No pressure. Just calm repetition. Day after day. And when the hard moment comes, remember the 3 words. Shitsuke. Teach the missing skill. Mimamoru. Pause before rescuing. Amae. Connect before correcting. Because the goal is not to raise a child who behaves only when someone is watching. The goal is to raise a child who carries calm, responsibility, and kindness inside their own body. And if this changed the way you see your child's behavior, share it with another parent who needs a calmer way. Subscribe for more stories on child psychology, culture, and quiet methods that raise emotionally strong children. Because sometimes, the most powerful parenting move is not doing more. It is trusting deeper.